AI in general is brought in such huge efficiency in the marketplace. Forget about retail media, but in general, like the scale and efficiencies that it is bringing in, especially for small and medium businesses, it is huge. Generally, machine learning and AI, they're kind of brought together, but the democratization of machine learning that AI brought is what is the meat of all of the conversations around how do we change shopper engagement, how do we change advertisements. Think about just one area, which is creative, which was like huge challenge before. Now the content has become such an easy, democratized way of creating the content. That's one of the bigger things. So the way that you engage with the shopper, the different ad formats, how can we make it like real time, faster, create so much more content? That's one. But the second thing is we always think about, the moment you think about AI, you think about content, but then there is a lot more that you can do with AI in retail media. One of the bigger things is connecting real-time bidding, real-time optimization. Small and medium businesses that cannot do it on their own, they can just rely on the platforms that are bringing the AI. That's huge.
Right. Do you think, as a lot of retail media networks are trying to push off their own platforms and really expand their footprint, does AI kind of help power that movement and make it even stronger?
Of course. So I think one of the major things is like when you're going off platform from retail media, the reason why you're moving off platform is you need the scale, right? And then at the same time, there is privacy changes that are giving you difficulty in terms of that scale. So off-platform, when the partners that you're partnering have AI, that is what is going to give you the scale and efficiency of running. And the fragmentation that it has created in retail media with the number of retail media networks that are going to off-platform, that also is a challenge, and AI solves that by giving that connectivity and scale for measurement and targeting that brings everybody in the ecosystem together.
I wonder about the fragmentation in this space and whether it's sustainable, the brands want that, but how it could be a win for the open web, like you described.
So, interesting question though. So, the fragmentation is inevitable, right? Because everybody that has first-party data is trying to bring a network to the table. But then how do they implement that network is what is going to be the major win for the retailers. And for the brands, the way that it works would be, if they're looking across the board, end of the day they can only partner with so much and they're like trying to consolidate. So the move that they are trying to go towards is how can you make it easy for me to buy media? How can you make it easy for me to target and measure? It's not just about one part of the ecosystem, but all multi-publisher ecosystem, multi-party ecosystem. How do we come together and create a centralized platform for that? That's where I think the industry is moving, and that's where I think all of the retailers that are bringing in their networks are also trying to bring. Like, how can I make you buy wherever you are? What is the choice and flexibility that I can give to the brands? That's where the networks are.
Do you think the same kind of coming together will happen on the buy side, where it's retail media has been coming out of a lot of different buckets and budgets, and now that will eventually come together in one place, or not really?
So it depends actually. So if you originally notice like what Amazon did with Fire TV, right? Like it had that inventory available, then all of a sudden it becomes a walled garden. So I think it depends on what the inventory style is, and also it depends on whether you want to decouple the inventory with the data. I think the way that we are seeing the industry moving towards is, it's not all about, when you talk about media, it's not all about media, it's about how you're packaging your data that is decoupled with media. That is what is going to be important. So when you think about how can that be achievable, is make sure that it is available wherever your customer is. We always thought about customer as a shopper, but when you think about a network, you're thinking about your customer as a buyer as well, and how are you bringing the ecosystem together for the buyer and the shopper. So I think it is very interesting to see how DSPs evolve in that space. SSPs are also evolving to cater to that need. But I feel DSPs have done way more work if you think about OpenPath, connecting the ecosystem from publishers directly. That's going to reduce the middlemen in the ecosystem. That's where the industry is moving towards, and we are also very focused on looking at that model.
Do you think that sort of screams for more standardization, something you've been vocal about? Is it something that we think we'll see over the next year?
Definitely, right? Like one of the main reasons we went into the direction of standardization is we are noticing this fragmentation, and we are noticing how difficult it is for retail media as a channel to excel, similar to how search came into the play, social came into play. So for us to be able to do that standard practices across the board, whether it's targeting, audience taxonomy, viewability, or measurement. That's super important. So we took a step into that direction, and we also are partnering with IAB. IAB is now running the show. So we are very focused on that this year as well. Last year was all about rolling it out, and this year is all about executing, working with partners.